Spring is here. After months of being inside, no, your promo is done. We are finally free to go outside once again.
It's about damn time.
Make sure to make Toxic Radio part of your fun with the free app. Whether it's mowing the lawn, a round of golf,
Ow, what the hell?
or bird watching, or even streaking. Whatever you're doing, make us your soundtrack. Spring is back. Make it toxic. Once every generation, there comes an event that alters how we perceive our world. That changes our expectations of what is possible. This is not really one of those events. But hey, Toxic Radio has a brand new studio, and that fucking rocks. So join us in celebrating our excellent new home. Toxic Radio. Awesomer than ever before. Wow, that is so a word. Hey, buddy. Rah. Hey, man, that's a sweet heavy metal happy hour t-shirt. Where'd you pick that up?
Thanks, dude. I got it at the Toxic Radio shop.
Toxic Radio has a shop?
Yeah, dude. It's in the app or online at toxicradio.net.
That is sweet.
Yeah, and I also got a rockin' Toxic Radio hoodie and a Red Band Underground shirt. Dude, I'm gonna look so rockin' at the party tomorrow.
Well, I think you look pretty now.
Oh, wait, what?
The Toxic Radio shop is a place to get all your Toxic Radio gear. Shirts, hoodies, stickers. Find it at toxicradio.net or on the app. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. Hey, where you going, man?
Hungry for Hope Nation, your host, Reckless Donnie Hart here. And I am joined by me, my co-host today. We got Yanni the Greek. Yanni.
Donnie, what's going on? It's great to be back in the studio, finally, after a setback, let's call it.
How does it feel, Yanni? As everybody know, all of us had COVID.
Yeah.
Tim is actually joining us from video today. He's still fighting COVID, but he's brave enough to be on the show. How are you feeling today, Jan?
I'm feeling good, yeah. Like I said last week on the show, didn't get a crazy case of it, but it sucked to get taken out of your life for a couple weeks, right? And I'm still kind of catching up to life.
Is there anything you would like to tell our? We got a great guest, man. I don't want to waste too much time. We're going to introduce him. He's live in studio with some friends. Anything you would like to tell our viewers, Yanni, after fighting this horrible
No one
virus?
wants to hear about me being sick. Let's get to the
all right,
guest here. Donnie, let's not waste.
I got one more co-host.
Waste our guys' time here.
We got. All right, Yanni, I like your thinking, man. Ever since you got that virus, you've been different, dude. You're hostile. Don't fight me. I'd like to introduce my co-host.
So glad to be doing this again. Big time! Tim! Gorgeous!
Great to have you. Great to have you back, man. I know you really fought through it last week, man. Thanks for being here, Tim. You're the man. And let's waste no time, man. I got in studio live from an awesome nonprofit, Paws Healing Heroes. We got Mark Eberle. Mark.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm a little pissed I didn't get the memo to wear green.
Talk to our accountant or our
I'm already like a
secretary.
bull in a china shop. I can't get a T-shirt before we go on.
You got red. I've been known to tack red.
Right. That's what I mean.
People have been banging down the doors for these T-shirts, so you're not the only one.
Mark, you got live with you. You can't see on camera, but who'd you bring along with you?
My service dog. I'm not going to say his name too loud. Batman. If I say his name, he'll start alerting. But if you see him stand up and start climbing on me throughout the show, that means he's alerting to my stress levels going up or down. He'll try and paw me or jump on me to tell me, yo, man, it's all right. Chill out.
That's awesome, man. You also have two special people in your life. They're watching from in the studio, the green room. I see a little man looking in right now. Who else did you bring along with you, man, to support you?
My wife, Rebecca, and my son, Dorian, and hopefully my daughter in Florida going to college at FAU or wherever the hell she's going. She better be listening in right now. I'll be pissed.
Oh, man. FAU better be listening.
It's probably like Florida Community College now. Her grades.
I could see Dorian checking in. Hey, Steph, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. So Mark, you know a little about our show, man. We're Hungry for Hope podcast, and we're a nonprofit, man. This whole show, if nobody knows my story, man, I was a professional wrestler, really hit hard times, man. I lost my brother tragically, and I lost hope, unfortunately, Mark. It was tough times, man, and I made a promise to myself on a prison cell in maximum security, facing life. I said I don't know who I was talking about. I just said if I get out of this, man, I'm going to help people who are going through hard times. Anybody down and out, or I'm going to help people not go through these. And today I'm making my word on that promise, Mark. So I ask you, Mark, what does hope mean to you?
What does hope mean to me? That's a very good question. It's just I hope that we can cut into the 22 veterans that take their lives every day. You hear that number, 22. It's insane. Every day, 22 veterans take their own lives. Now it could be PTSD, it could be brain trauma. You know, life sucks every day. Now you add combat or you add sexual military trauma into it. You know, we sign up on the line. We know what we signed up for, I should say. But then you're punched in the face really fast with reality. And then, you know, are you ready to come home to that? And that's where the problem lies. Yeah, man,
it's amazing. We hadn't had veterans on. I almost feel ashamed. We had some veterans, but not anybody really working with what you're doing. And then we had Matt Davies of Operation Tattoo and Freedom. I told you a little about him, and that was his whole mission, that 22 number. You know, I didn't know that number. I admit when I don't know, man. It's amazing. I still can't grasp that. I sometimes admit when I'm wrong. Yanni, man, he's been acting crazy ever since that virus, man. But yeah, I sometimes admit when I don't know something. Not when I'm wrong, when I don't know something. And that number, man, that drives a lot what you do, that 22.
Absolutely. That's why, you know, what I do at Paws Healing Heroes, we try to rescue dogs out of shelters and train them for veterans like myself. We started with just veterans with PTSD, so then we switched it to veterans with disability because I didn't want to limit it to veterans, tip of the spear, combat guys you think you see on all the movies. It could be a medic saying some really nasty shit. It could be a cook that their tent was blown up next to them. It could be sexual trauma that surprisingly I didn't really know about until you start talking to men and women that we've helped with dogs, and you're just blown away like you wouldn't expect it. And there it is in your face. So I changed it to veterans with disabilities, and that's where we're at today. We've done 54 dogs in 4 years, and I'm not going to stop.
You've done 54 dogs. Tell us a little about Paws Healing Heroes. When did it start? What's it about? You know, I know you mentioned some, but how did this come about, man?
Well, you go through a lot of counseling with the VA. They think they can help you over the years, and which they do if you follow their program and take the medication. But for me, it kind of got to the end. They were throwing their hands up like, what do we do with this guy? Here, let's get him a service dog. So they had me research it, and it was going to be $20,000. I was going to fly to Florida on my own dime, train with a dog for a couple weeks, come home, and they'd ship me a dog in a year. And then I met up with my cousin who was a canine cop at the time for Glassboro, and he's like, bullshit, dude. 20 grand, my police dog doesn't cost that much. So that's where I started. I started looking local for myself, trainers. And when I did finally find a dog, I found a veteran that was worse off than me. And he was probably going to take his own life that weekend. And I had a dog with me, but it wasn't bonded yet. So we just decided to give this gentleman this dog, and it changed his life. And that's where Paws Healing Heroes started. Me, my wife, a good friend of mine, Tracy Linen. We sat down at a diner and we put it down on paper. And
when was this? When did you actually?
About 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I was always raising money for veterans and then going to the VA and dumping change out on the desk to the people. And they're like, you got to give us a check. I'm like, screw you, dude. I was out in the sun for 6 hours. You get what I get. Here you go. And then I started racing people at different 4Ks and shit. I knew I wasn't beating them. It was a ploy to get them into the restaurant that was dying, that I was the head chef at. So I was like, beat Chef Mark and we'll raise awareness for PTSD. So then we decided that, hey, let's give Chef Mark a service dog. We'll blow it out of proportion. The news came in, and we wound up flipping the dog to somebody else, which is, he needed it more than me at that time. So that's really how Paul started.
So that's the kind of guy you are, man. I'm not going to, but you were in the service, you had PTSD, and you had this dog, but you saw somebody, a veteran, who needed it more than you. that just kind of, I think, tells your character, what you're all about. Even you're running these 4Ks or whatever. I
used to run 4Ks.
I broke a sweat when you said it. My heart's beating. I don't know if it's from the COVID I had a couple weeks ago or that, but I'm out of breath just thinking about it.
It was more like slow jog and almost die, but it wasn't. I say run, I use that loosely. It's more like try and make it to the end of the 4K without having a freaking heart attack.
Well, you got the dog and Dorian now. They probably, they have you running all over.
Yeah, it's a blast. Be 51 and have a 4-year-old. Here, go ahead.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So these veterans, it sounds like some of them inspire you. Who else inspires Mark Eberle? What inspires you to do this amazing, absolutely amazing organization you're running? Tell me, Mark.
I always look back to how bad I used to be, like a complete F-up, in trouble all the time, abuse of drugs and alcohol. You don't really know you have issues, and you're beating it down with drugs, alcohol, punching people in the face for no reason. So I look back and I start with my mom, who was an absolute saint on this planet when she was on there. And then I'm blessed to have a beautiful wife that absolutely has my back 100% with everything we do. She's there for every call that I take with a veteran. I can sit there for 3 hours and the person's crying their heart out. They're on the fence. I've called cops to the person's house while I kept them on the phone so they don't kill themselves. And Rebecca's there every step of the way while I'm crying, she's crying. So without her being there, I don't think I'd be able to do what I do, because I would just go back to probably the reckless ways again. Yeah,
big shout out to her, man. Just for coming here with you, showing support, for supporting you. I know it's hard. Like when I was incarcerated, man. Like when I first started the wrestling, everybody wanted to be, Donnie Hart was the next big thing. It was the writing was on the wall. They gave me the Ferrari and they said, "Don't crash it." I crashed it, Mark. But at that time, everybody saw like the paycheck, and I had friends coming. Tim's fine. I crashed a Ferrari. Tim, let it go, man. It's not that funny, dude. Come on. It's fine. My past. We're talking about
getting a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, you like my hard times? But no, honestly, that's what. Like I remember Larry Sharp. God bless his soul. Pretty boy Larry Sharp. He told me, like, Donnie, you're gonna be a millionaire by the time you're 30 if you don't fuck this up.
And here we are.
I'm not going to tell you my financial status, but I'm not a millionaire and I'm past 30, Mark. But when I was at my best, when I'm sure even like maybe I feel like when people are actually like serving their country in active duty, sometimes people like support them, like, shout out to Mark for serving. Just like when I was doing the pro wrestling and I was at my top, everybody was my friend. They were all coming out of the woodwork. And I was young and I was dumb and I didn't see it. I was a lot of bad influences. But then once I hit that rock bottom, once I got arrested, once my face was on national news for crimes I'm not proud of, everybody left, Mark. Everybody. When you were going through your bad times, when you were struggling, fighting your demons, did you notice? I know your wife, God bless her, she's been around. Did you notice there wasn't a lot of support?
No, there wasn't any. There were the people that you were getting high with, and the ones you were running the streets with, doing the damage. My mom was there telling me not to do it. She saw, but, she was old, so she didn't really have a say. No, everybody, the rats leave the sinking ship. It's true.
Yeah, and, I have a good mom. I have a decent family. I had decent friends, but when I was struggling, I knew I had a problem. I was battling. My brother died. He died in 2014, and my life went from the fairy tale. I was living my dream. Ever since I was 5, I wanted to be a pro wrestler. And I was actually living that. I was driving the Ferrari, and when my brother died, it happened so quick. I just went into this dark state, man. My mental health, I just tried to get out of this place I was in through drugs, and I was fighting. I would see people walking down the street, Mark, and I swear, if they had a smile on them, I would attack them. I didn't like,
I'm with you.
Why are they happy?
Right.
And I would call. I remember being on the phone with family members, and I was just like, I was at tears, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I need help. But unfortunately, like you said, you had a great mom, but they don't know. They're not professionals. They haven't been through this. Now that you are a veteran who's been through some bad times, do you feel like that puts you in a better place to help these veterans?
Every time I talk to somebody, it's a brand new story. What they've gone through, what hell they've gone through. And I've learned so much over the past 4 years just about people's different traumas And I consider myself a non-professional counselor because I know how to just be quiet and listen. Or I also know how to jump into the conversation and say, yo, you kill yourself. Who's going to be the first person to find your fat, bloated, naked ass stinking? Your kids, your wife, your family. You know, you go down that dark road, you think, I've sat there plenty of times and added up my insurance policy, and you find ways to take your own life where the insurance policies will still pay out your family, but you kill yourself. And there's clauses in them. If you commit suicide, you don't get paid out your insurance. So my hell was constantly going through my head. How am I going to take my life, but yet still have my family benefit from the money while my piece of shit dead body was on the side of the road?
Mark, first, I just want to thank you for having the courage and the strength to share that with us. It's not easy. I personally know I sat there in that jail cell, and I just had like that day I decided to change, and I was going to fight back. I had two choices, man. It was get up or give up, and I didn't want to live no more, but I was scared to die. And the only thing I'm thinking, I don't know if there's an afterlife. I'm not a huge religious guy, but I was just thinking in my head, like, I'd have to answer to my brother if I hung it up there. And I wasn't ready to answer him, knowing, I took the easy way out. What kind of help can you offer, or would you tell anybody who's sitting in that rock bottom and they're thinking maybe life's not worth it?
I offer my cell phone up to every veteran that talks to me. At first, it was a pain in the ass because you get calls at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, but then you realize they really need to talk, and you might be saving their life. Our website, pawshealingheroes.org, I tell people to go on there. Just shoot me an email. Give me your information. The VA has a veterans hotline, and they have resources, abundance of resources. Every horror story you heard about the VA and the resources. I've sat with my wife. I was like, let's call the Veteran Suicide Hotline. I think we sat on hold for 23 minutes. Oh, man. Insane, right? So hopefully that's a glitch they work at.
Cringe-worthy a little bit.
I was going to kill myself, but I have to wait 23 minutes because I want to talk to someone before I do it. No, I just tell people to reach out, talk to somebody, open up. You start feeling better once you start telling your story like you have. You almost seem like you need a hug right now, and I don't want to go up and hug you because I don't know how far over he's done with COVID. But
oh, man. You're going to knock me down. I'm battling. I just got done battling this, and you're going to knock me down, Mark. You're going to hit me. I thought you were supposed to help people.
I'm here. That's why I inject humor in everything, too, because if you can't laugh at yourself, it can't be serious 100% of the time. Woe is me. Go to the doctor. I tell vets, take your medicine. Fill your scripts. Go talk to the VA counselors. And if I can get you a dog that they pay nothing for, we pay 100% of the training, the equipment, and everything. Get a dog. It's not going to be a magic bullet and save their life, but it's a piece to the puzzle. And then I got a really cool, badass German Shepherd. And you know what I mean? I go out and everybody's like, whoa, look at that dog. And it kind of makes you feel better. Then it makes you open up and you talk to people why PTSD. And then they'll always say, well, I have someone in the military. Can I give them your phone number?
Awesome.
Every time.
So I like the way you put that, though, a piece to the puzzle, because it's not like, okay, this happened, now the veteran is saved, he's out of his own mind. No, it's like you kind of have to constantly work at it,
right?
Where you put this in place, and then you have the phone calls and the contacts and everything like that, and like all of that kind of comes together to start the healing.
Absolutely.
Right?
There's no 100. No one can figure this crap out. They can't cure the common cold. They can't cure cancer.
Yeah.
What's inside of our head? I got 7 people talking right now, and they all want to say something on the microphone, which is kind of cool. But
I'm sure Mike will appreciate whatever comes out.
So it's just, killer. It's just, all jokes aside, it's like we said, the piece of the puzzle. Every little bit helps. Don't push away any kind of help, because you never know if the dog will click with the medicine, the dog will click with the training. And it's fun because one of my psychiatrists, they're scared of dogs, number one, and they're allergic. So I purposely take him in and make him sit in front of me, and it just pisses her off because they're at the point now, I've been there long enough, they're just like, we can't do anything for you.
You're just going to
How's your day?
Sneeze and cough.
Don't kill yourself. Can I give you some medicine? That's basically my visits to the VA anymore. So gotcha. You got to find ways to make it a good visit.
So Mark, I want to go back a little bit to when you were running the streets, as you put it. So when you're in kind of the middle of that lifestyle, you have to kind of make that personal choice to want to change. Number one, it starts with hanging out with different people. which is, I think, something you said. So I guess kind of give some advice on, like, how do you start that process? How do you kind of, like, stop with the drinking and the drugs and everything like that and try to take yourself away from those people that you're hanging out with, but also at the same time balance that with, you know, what's going on in your head, the reason you're doing all that stuff?
I haven't stopped drinking 100%. I'll have a couple drinks here and there. But I got some advice. Take the phone numbers that are the bad influences and block the numbers. Delete them, block them so you don't have them. Don't frequent the local bars where it's just they're sucking you in. My little town of Glassboro, I'll love to the day I die. You go into Caesars.
Caesars, that's a rough spot.
It's not even a rough spot. You walk in there, there's that one person. It's like, yo, what's up?
Shots?
I've been sitting here since 1984. Let's go sit in my truck and not get arrested. So I just, you know, you got to make changes, and you have to be an adult about shit and, you know, and laugh at it too. Like, walk in there and just be like, I'm just going to get some chicken wings and bounce. Nice. You have 4 teeth left. Thanks. Great. See you later.
Gotcha. Good. I like that answer.
Yeah. Mark, you talk about, you tell people to get help and stuff, but one thing, like I mentioned to you, I knew I needed help. So my family and friends, they would schedule professional appointments for me with doctors and psychiatrists, and you know, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. You know, you're telling them whatever they want to hear, and I kind of thought, and then I'd pull up into them doctors' offices, man. I couldn't even tell you how many, because once you miss one, you're not gonna go back to the same one, because they don't want you. You miss a couple times, so I would pull up. I'd have, say, a 11 o'clock appointment. I'd pull up into that parking lot at 11:45, and I'd sit in that car and I'd lie to myself, and I'd say, today's the day. You know, I'm walking into that door, and 11 o'clock would come by, 11:15, 11:30, and I'd stay in that car and I'd leave that parking lot. I felt like, what is some doctor, what is some bozo in a suit know about losing their brother? What does he know about some pro wrestler fucked up their life and drugs, alcohol, all that shit I was doing? What did they know? They went to their fancy school, they got their fancy degrees. That's what my mindset was. So what do you tell people who are thinking that? I think it's almost amazing having somebody. If I was a veteran, I know the one Matt Davies mentioned, a lot of these doctors at the VA, they're not combat vets. They're not veterans.
They cycle out every 6 months. So I get a new psychiatrist or psychologist every 6 months. So the next one comes in, they're like, so let's go back to the beginning, how it started. And you were there for a couple sections, and you're like, all right, this might be working a little bit. Then you got to go back to square one and tear off all those old scabs again. So after a while, it's just like, I'm not going to that. You know, it's bullshit.
Yeah, Matt Davies, huge shout out to him, man. What a man. He opened my eyes so much. But he told us he'd have like an hour appointment they'd set up, and he'd spend 30 minutes explaining the new story to the new person, or like they wouldn't know about military stuff because they weren't in it.
Right.
So he'd have to explain to them what he meant. Like, if he was talking to you, you lived that life, you've been there.
Even if it's not the same branch, our feet have been in the same sand or in the same water. It's, you know, you kind of know.
Gotcha. Do they cycle back, or do you just keep getting a new one?
You
haven't seen one twice.
After you stay with them for 6 months, and then it's like, peace out. I'm going to blah blah blah. It's almost like they're new and they're just training and they're working on us and everything. The book is out now. I've had some good ones. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody's bad.
Right.
Just 95% of them.
Right. Listen, they're doing a job, and they're doing a service that's pretty necessary.
There's some legit people in there that
Definitely.
legit want to help veterans that care, and you can tell the ones that care or the ones that are just like, the one woman wouldn't even look at me. She was just typing while I was talking, and I'm just like, I start making faces behind her back, and I'm starting, now my fucked up part is coming out, and here comes Goofy Mark. I'm trying to fart, and like, she didn't care. She was just pumping in the time and doing it just to move on to their next step, and you can't really fault her.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just angry at the world already, so now it just added to I'm going to be even more angry because, especially if they're not good looking, it just makes it that much worse.
That's what this whole thing was about, wasn't it?
Absolutely. That's where I wanted to get to. I hope my wife was out peeing or something like that.
Our producers are laughing. They're great guys. Big shout out to Jamie and Mike. Big shout out to Gene, man. He has a show, Wire to Wire. He said, like, he couldn't agree more. Like, getting help, you don't get it until you want to get help. Nobody could force me into that office. What do you say to anybody out there? They might they might have tried to get help for somebody. They have a family member who's a veteran. Is there any resources for them? Anything you would like to tell them if they have not an actual person going through it, but somebody who wants to help somebody?
I always tell them just to donate to me. Send me the money because
PawsHealingHeroes.org.
Absolutely, send me the money because training these dogs is expensive. And now, all seriously, I tell the person, turn the door handle, pick up the phone, take the first step because they're not going to call you. They're not going to open the door for you. They're just waiting.
So you say help you, you're joking, but you're serious.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Paws Healing Heroes, that's a big organization. You have a lot of people helping you. There's, a lot of people, correct?
Well, I started under another nonprofit, the Griffin Gives Foundation, who my friend Tracy and my wife, we all started Paws Healing Heroes as a program. And I guess Paul's got too big for Griffin Gives because after we went on the Rachel Ray show, name drop.
You were on Rachel Ray's show.
Yeah,
That's
oh
awesome,
my God,
man.
did you hear it?
I wanted to get into
It's like 2 years ago today, I think, or something like that.
I think, right?
We just floated past the chef part. We're going to definitely go back.
Right, okay. But, they locked me in a closet for 6 hours. Anyway, where was my head? Now, see, I just completely turned
Sorry
off.
about that.
Fucked me all up. Now I'm picking Rachel Ray cooking me shrimp scampi.
She's all right.
All right, just completely forgot where I was at. That's cool. So
you're on Hungry for Hope, goddammit, Mark. What do you mean? We invited you on. You don't know where we
the
are.
whole time I got to poop, so I don't know where I'm at.
You come on our show and now you say you don't know where
lost
you are.
my train of, no, I know where the hell I'm at. I'm in the green room.
We were talking about kind of who's all involved in.
There we go. So after the Griffin Gives Foundation,
good thing we got Yanni, right?
I know, right?
That's why I keep him around.
The adult in the room. We kind of decided to make Paul's its own nonprofit because it was time. Their board members, there was friction. I know because I'm in the shit every day. I'm going to rescue a dog at 11 o'clock at night in Maryland in the hood, and I'm getting screamed at by someone that is not there saying, "What are you doing? You didn't get permission to go do this." I'm like, permission?
We don't do permission.
And I don't even throw out there, "I started this shit." No, dude, I'm out there trying to save a dog's life to help a veteran. Yeah. Or like if I would send some flyers out, if I do a comedy show or a fundraiser and I want reimbursement, I had to wait like 3 months to get like $72 back or something. So that process, I know it has to be that way, and some, not for me. I'm a fly by the pants. Let's raise some money. If I've got $3 in my account, I'm spending $2.99 of it on some kind of dog something. Because that's what it comes down to. The trainers are XYZ. It's a cut and dry. You give the dog to the trainer. They train the dog, you give it to the veteran, they bond with the veteran, and then everybody goes home happy. And then like 6 months later, you see the veteran, he forgets all the commands, and he went to shit. And I scream at him, and then that's my life.
So the training process, kind of how I don't know. I know you don't actually do it, but like how does that go? Is the veteran like involved in the process?
Absolutely, absolutely.
How does that work?
If they either have a dog that we deem trainable, they'll have to get it evaluated, obviously, or they go with the trainer to the shelter, or not everybody likes breeders. I've got some really cool lab breeder people that just want to give their puppies to people like what we're doing. So the dog has to bond with the person, because if my dog didn't like me, it doesn't work. He wasn't even supposed to be my service dog. We drove his big ass to North Jersey. We take him into the veteran's house, and he took a shit in the guy's floor. I'm like, oh, what the hell? I was so embarrassed.
Mark, I'm not trying to bust your balls, but that dog takes a shit. If anybody has a new studio, they can let us use. Producers,
I've had him almost 3.5 years. He's never had an accident in the house, ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna get thrown out of Toxic Radio, but this is what I'm willing to do to bring you on the show.
He didn't like the dude, so he can, I'm like, now what do I do with this dog? So I went to my wife's hair salon, and I showed him to my wife, and he rolls over on his back and puts his belly out and gets the crayon come out, and I was like, I guess we got a 100-pound German Shepherd because
it's our dog now.
It's a scary dog, and I wasn't thinking about, you're bringing the dog with you, so I didn't tell Toxic Radio. And he walked through that door. You got this dog, and I'm just like, I'm writing my resignation letter. I'm like, fuck, man, how am I gonna explain this one?
It's not exactly a little dog, but it's very well behaved.
They were so respectful of it, though. I just want to say thank you for Toxic Radio. They understand the dog's awesome, man, and.
No, they didn't have a choice. They had to let me in here because the American Disability Act is clear that they cannot ask me to leave with my service dog. Sorry.
You hear that?
Yeah, Mike.
Toxic Mike, we're saying demands now. No, but I just want to thank them for they didn't care at all. You could tell, but you're allowed to bring. So tell me more about that. Like, your dog, you're allowed to bring it on a plane, or
Just service dogs now. Thank God they switched that out because emotional support animals, people need them. I get it. But if I go to the airport with my dog, he doesn't bark or attack any other dogs, and everybody challenges him because he's the big one. And it's like the airline stewardess is like, thank God you have a real service dog because the other ones are shitting and pissing and barking and biting people. And
I agree with you, man. I'm a huge animal person. I love the service dog you have, but I feel like I see people on trains and planes, and they have these like poodles
chickens
or
and
these
it's ridiculous.
And I do feel like some people take advantage.
Until it's regulated
of it.
by the government, nothing will change.
Like
Because people just get away with whatever website they go on. iwantaservicedog.com, and then boom, you can put one. I can put one on my son. You can send a picture of my son and put a dog's name on
you
it,
can
and
do it
they'll
before
send
the show's over. It's
absolutely,
that quick.
yeah.
And
So it's ridiculous.
Some people, unfortunately, take advantage of that. Have you noticed when you show up to places? I know it's a law; you got to be loud. But have you ever had like a restaurant or anyone say anything to you? Any hard times?
There's been a couple, but you know,
You can throw your hands pretty good. I can tell.
No, I'm old and I'm tired. I fuck with them now, and I'm like, you better call the police, or or I just tell them to go fuck themselves, and trying to anger them into confrontation. But after you talk to them, and you a lot of people just don't know because not these big corporations. I would love to go out and talk to corporations and get some kind of fee. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We can figure something out. Go to Target and do some public speaking.
Sure. Yeah.
But everybody needs to be educated on do's and don'ts, and the American Disabilities Act is clear. You can ask me what the dog does for me, and that's basically it. As long as he's quiet and chill and unruly and not mess with anybody, they got to leave me the hell alone.
Yep.
Now, when you're in the mall and people come up, is that a seeing eye dog? I'm just like, my wife would be like, yeah, he's blind.
Yep.
Or, like, I know we're not allowed to touch him, but can I pet him? I'm just like, please do.
You just said you're not allowed to touch them.
Now, Mark, you say as long as the dog's not unruly and quiet, they can't do nothing. Now, when I'm on a plane and I'm unruly and I'm loud, they tell me I have to leave, sir.
They turn around, yeah.
Sir, you have to. You can't bring that keg if you didn't buy a seat for it, sir. And, I don't understand. Should I wear a vest or something? How does that work?
I would
Can
say,
you train me, Mark?
They would probably just feel sorry for you by looking at you and be like, yeah, he needs the window seat, and just put a helmet on him and he'll go to sleep.
Yeah, you ever train a person, Mark?
Actually, we need to train the veterans, and I say this in a serious note, because once we spend $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, and we give you this dog, and you don't follow up, and it's almost like a kid. If I just let my dog be a dog, he's going to go on the table, he's going to steal food, he's going to shit in the house, he's going to... I'm not saying all the veterans, because a lot of them, we've saved their lives, and they've told me that numerous times. But I'll go to a fundraiser, and there's that one guy that doesn't do anything, and his freaking dog is like off the leash running around. I'm like, that's my name and my face that I spent that money on, dude. At least act right for a half an hour until I leave.
You bring up a great point. I make a joke. I'm just like you. I use laughter. A lot of times, people going through hard times, tough situation, laughter. But you bring up a great point. Now, the veterans, you had, 54 you said?
54.
Do you train them? I know you train the
They
dog. They're
train with the
expensive
dog.
dogs.
Yeah, they train. It depends on what the veteran needs. If he just needs some kind of emotional support, then it's just like basic commands. Don't act like an asshole in public. That's an easy one. Now, if you're having seizures or nightmares where the dog has to wake you up and alert you, we have one dog that's $11,000 in training right now. So every dog is different. Every veteran's different. It's just a new experience every time. And we did an amputee Vietnam veteran. His dog Bricks changed his life because he had a really hard time getting around. Now he's got a dog getting out there with support with him, and he's in the backyard every day playing with his dog.
Awesome.
Now, how much you said that dog was like 11,000? You have training in. How much is the average?
Between $3,000 and $4,000. $4,000 is usually the number.
And you're all, you work on donations. And
oh yeah, every dollar that we raise goes back into training of the dog, the equipment for the dog. We do give food in the beginning if you need help, and then we just promoting the Paws Healing Heroes. That's it. No one takes a salary. I don't need any money from this. It's just, when I first started, my friends were like, oh, look at that. You got a brand new house. And oh, look at, no. Everybody that knows me that does this, we don't mess around with it. It's just, it is what it is. You give me $1, the dollar goes to the dog and the veteran.
Yeah. you know, we got big time Tim Kudges. He's actually on the show. He personally, just listening to you, he just donated $50. He just sent me the receipt. Anybody else? Tim, thank you for donating.
Thank you, Tim.
Anybody else? They can go. How did you do it, Tim?
Oh, you just went right on the website. It's easy. They have the
What was the
donate
website?
button. You can use a credit.
Oh.
PawsHealingHeroes.org.
There's Batman.
So you get two ways to donate. You can donate by credit card or by Venmo, which makes it super, super easy. But I mean,
awesome.
thank
You
you
can
for
donate
doing
with
such
Venmo.
a great thing.
Yeah, Tim, you're listening.
Scroll
That's
down
awesome.
a little bit on the page, and it's right there.
Yanni's checking it out. That's Batman, who's in studio with me.
Yeah, man.
I'm friends with a celebrity.
You have a celebrity. He's been
actual
all over
celebrity.
every news, every local news channel. This dog has been on, and again, we talked about
me too, bro.
Well,
Donnie Hungry
Right?
Pro finally made
late
it.
night at 11.
Suspect.
Ex-pro wrestler.
Yeah, man. I laugh at it, but you know, it's not something I'm proud of. But it's, you know, like you said, we get laughter out of.
You have to, or you'll go absolutely insane.
It took years, right? I know, like you openly, you're talking about some of your darker times. I'm sure, you know, you're not proud of times where you were battling demons, and I'm not either. But like you mentioned earlier, one of the greatest things I ever did in my life for myself was opening up about my past. Have you found that, like, opening up and being honest? It's not easy.
It's not easy. At times, it's like you go back inside of yourself because you don't want to bring that trauma up again because that pain hurts.
It's a lot of shame, and like, who wants to? I remember I mentioned it. I was on Tim Witherspoon Pro Boxer's show the other day, and I mentioned to him, like, I remember, like, I got a job. I was trying to put the pieces of my life back together. I thought I was doing a good job, and I'd met a girl, and I went on some dates, and she's like, "You're like the best guy I ever met." You know, she was telling me this, and then
Till she Googled you.
somebody Googled it, and and now I'm thinking back, I'm like, that's her loss. But at the time, I was ashamed, and you know, then demons come back in your head, and you're thinking, like, maybe I am a piece of shit. You know, maybe I should just be a piece of shit the rest of my life.
You don't have to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Donnie. I was in jail. To everybody with the internet, they just
That's
research.
actually exactly how he introduces
That should
himself.
be, put your business card behind bars. Like, what do you do? Listen, but here's the deal. Everybody has issues. Everybody's got someone in their family that's more fucked up than we are. So, you know what I mean? It's how crazy do you want to be or how crazy you not want to be, and taking the first step and trying to get help. And there's resources, and people want to help now more than ever. It seems like everybody wants to help everybody with something. If you don't open up and you don't take that first step, then you're not going to get the help.
Yeah, I mean, listen, one of the good things about, like, the internet and everything like that is that you can help whoever you want.
Or you can
much.
Google me.
You're up to, you can do, you know, I mean, there's so much you're able to do. Now, most people use the internet to go and argue about, you know, sports or whatever it is, and
Who's
be mean
running
to
for
each other.
office and all that
Yeah,
bullshit.
but
religion.
no, but like, you know, it actually does. It is able to connect everybody like that to where we can go on here and promote your organization, and hopefully you get a whole bunch of donations from it. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
It's cool.
And the donations I'll get, you know, because I bust the concrete. Everybody knows I'll stand out there with a bucket and beg quarters and nickels because that's how I did it. You know, you get big donations. The Patriot Fund is one organization that has a golf outing every year. And they've given me a lot of money. South Jersey Business Association, that's another big golf outing I do every year. There's a lot of local Glassboro. I can't say enough about the Glassboro businesses. I would run down every last one of them. Troy McCullough State Farm, Italian Affair, The Landmark, everybody. Peter and Sons. Everybody in Glassboro has donated to me multiple times. And without them and without $50 donations from the guy behind the shades over there with the shades flapping in the background. That's not bothering you guys when you hear the shades flap? Or is it just me? Anyway.
It's just you.
I had to get a shot on you, man.
That's Timmy.
Yeah, I'm just breaking his shit. I feel like he's left out. He's not here. He wants his 38.
Can he get a refund?
Well, I get 38 of the 50, I think, right? So,
What do you?
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I thought there was some other.
99% of the shit that comes out of my mouth with a smile is going to be jokes, but the rest, when I'm serious, I'm looking at the camera. So that's my serious face right there.
Yeah, but
Back to the Glassboro thing, though.
Yeah,
I want to,
Glassboro, shout out.
Astro signs. I'm giving everybody out there because they give to me every time I ask. Now, it's not 500, it's not 5,000 every time, but if they've got $100 or if they've got a gift card that I can pass on to a veteran in need,
Any little bit it helps.
I don't turn anything down but my collar and my bed sheets.
And it sounds like that you've golfed with pretty much everybody.
No. Well, I just went through a back injury that I'm over now, and there was a pending lawsuit, so I really couldn't move much if I was okay or not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been to a bunch of golf outings, and I've seen a lot, and
How's your golf game, Mark?
it was,
Don't lie to me, Mark.
It was good.
Don't lie to me, Mark.
When I was working at Wedgwood Country Club, that's a tough course. And I was going out before every shift and playing 9 holes. I was shooting like 87, 89. I was okay with that. That's, I'm not, if I went out today, it'd probably be 120.
Now Pittman Golf Course? Pittman,
It's a chip and putt.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Bogey's good people there, but
Absolutely. Al Bartolo,
Yeah.
Mayo. Al's a good dude. I worked for Al for a little bit of time.
yeah, I know his daughter. That's Tim. Is COVID?
Bart LeMayo.
That's Tim dying.
My bad. I apologize.
You should shut the curtains. You're getting a draft.
But anyway, back to what I was talking. Pretty boy Larry Sharp, who trained me at the Monster Factory, him and like King Kong Bundy, and he actually had a job. He was just like guest relations at Pittman Golf Course. We used to do events there, and I'm not the golfing type, if you can't tell, Mark. I think when I was younger, I swung a golf club at a guy. I'm not proud of. I'm just saying, that's the only golf club swinging I've done. And we did a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame event there, and I remember, I'm a loud guy, and I'm with I think we had like Jimmy Snuka, maybe Ivan Koloff, Davey O'Hannon, the Four Horsemen guy. We had some big Hall of Fame professional wrestlers, and I'm the guy. I'm not golfing in the event because I don't know how to golf, so I'm just driving around in the golf cart, and I'm screaming, being loud, And man, I almost
You're the one everybody hates at the golf.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to putt, and there goes the big Hulk Hogan looking dude.
I'm like, yo, brother.
Right.
6 beers deep. And
Yeah, 6 beers. Yeah, I was 6 beers deep before I even got there, Yanni. And you got to think, I'm like 315 pounds, my mohawk, my veins are popping out of my head. I thought I was the man. I'm driving this golf cart around. Nobody's going to tell me to stop it.
You were over at PB's drinking before you went to the golf tournament with Ryan McLucky.
I was with Ryan McLucky.
Name drop, Ryan. Fast Shoes Ryan.
Big shout out to Fast Shoes Ryan McLucky, man. You bring up a great point. He's actually, me and you met Mark. He introduced us within 10 years. I'm saying 7 years.
Well, I worked at PB's for 5, and I haven't been there for 3, probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like some good math.
Yeah,
it's all made up.
I don't do numbers, man. I got a good left hook, but I don't got good math skills, brother.
Wait, nobody else wants to know where this nickname Fast Shoes came from?
Every time Ryan would wear the dirtiest ass sneakers to work, and then my apartment was right next door to the diner I was the head chef at. So he would get all tore up throughout his shift. Everybody knew. Yeah, he was sideways before he even went in there. I hope his wife is listening.
Great dude, though.
Oh, yeah, he'll give you a shirt off his back, but it's sweaty and it smells like beer. And he would sleep in my apartment for like 3 days. And then finally he got some new shoes, and our boy Dan's like, look at Ryan with his Fast Shoes on. Ever since then, Fast Shoes Ryan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a good story.
Yeah, he worked as a bartender at PB in Glassboro. They're closed now, correct?
Yeah.
And you were the head chef there?
Yeah. Not the reason why they closed, because I was gone before they shut down.
Oh, you left before they shut down?
Yeah. When the taxes aren't being paid, you kind of
Yeah, I
see the
remember
writing
all
on the
that.
wall.
I didn't want to bring it up, brother.
That was a bigger news story than yours. Diners, 53 years. They're not paying their taxes.
pro wrestler.
Time to throw that resume out there. And
Exactly.
see what's going on.
Yeah, man. That's crazy, but I just want to personally give a shout out. We have a lot of people have told me about guests, and I take pride in the guests I bring on. I really I've mentioned it before. We've had guests who have like big followings. They're like national names, and they bring thousands and thousands of people. And yeah, there's a point in me. I know to grow this brand, I need more viewers, but I won't compromise who I am. I won't compromise the show, what I believe in, to bring on some bozo who's like a YouTube star who I just don't like. I just don't think he's
Just to
a good
get
dude.
7 new likes, you're not going to bring someone
Nah.
in. I think Paws has 3,400 people following us. That's pretty decent.
Why do you think I brought you on, bro? No, I've turned down people with hundreds of thousands of followers. I swear to God.
See, I need those people, so thanks.
But like, I'm not gonna bring somebody on. I'm
hear
at a
you.
point in my life where I can choose. Maybe the old Donnie Hart. I don't know if you can relate. When I was not thinking clear, doing like bad things, even during the wrestling days, I wasn't thinking I would like anybody into my life. The greatest thing in this journey I'm on now is I can choose who I bring on this show. Yanni, me, the only people I do bring it up to, Yanni and Tim, I always bring the ideas by them first, too.
Right.
Because we're a team, man. We really do this together. Like I told everybody, it's no surprise all three of us got COVID because one of us got it because we're always together. But we bring a lot of people. Now, do you, for Paws Healing Heroes, do you bring in the trainers? How do you find people to help? I know you said you kind of run a one-man show, too, but
Right.
how do you get...
I have a bunch of volunteers.
And they find veterans? If somebody has a veteran who they think might need a dog, like how do they reach out?
Just if they go onto the website and inbox me, or go on Paws Healing Heroes on Facebook and inbox me, that's where the conversations start. We have volunteers. We've got a group of volunteers that's been with me since the beginning. Every event, they're there selling T-shirts and bracelets and shaking hands. And I always ask the veterans, and I don't make them come out to the events, but more dogs brings more money. It's pretty sad to put a wounded guy and their dog out there and begging for money, but that's what it comes down to. And my dog's really good at begging for money because he just puts that look on, and you either want to give him a bone or some money. But yeah, the following with the volunteers, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without Jackie and Bruce and my wife and people like that.
Yeah, you shout out to them, man. Now, Mark, since you started Paws Healing Heroes, you had 54 veterans in need get dogs. What is the most rewarding moment you've had since you started Paws Healing Heroes?
I think it's the phone call or the conversation with the veteran when they tell me that it's like Christmas when they're getting their dog. That it's almost like the veil's been lifted. They can breathe again. They can go out in public and actually talk. Again, the dog's not a magic bullet. It's not going to save your life. You've got to use your resources. But getting a dog that can bond with you and know that you're just as messed up as everybody else and the dog can help you, that's the best feeling. I've had phone calls from veterans that are out in South Carolina, West Virginia, and they tell me every time, you know what, Mark, you saved my life. And I don't really think about it yeah, because these dudes were right on the same edge that everybody else was. They were about to be the 22 veteran that killed themselves. And just because they get a dog that's trained and can get in tune with them that saved their life, man, I try not to show how excited I am, but I want to jump up and down and be like, you know what? That's why we started this shit, because I want to just clear the darkness from your head and let you know that these dogs kind of help. So reach out. That
just makes, when Matt Davies was here and he said that number just brings a knot to my stomach. 22 veterans, man. I don't hide my emotions, man. It just, everything I say is authentic. It hurts, man. I feel, what can I do to help? Well, 22, man, veterans commit suicide a day. That's the average number, correct, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unbelievable. And these dogs, we had, like I said, Jean from Wire to Wire and Monique, Tim's girlfriend, they said their dogs have helped them through their darkest times. Like Jean said, his darkest nights were bearable because his dog. And Monique said her untrained dog has saved her countless times. And they're not even trained.
Right.
So these people are saying how dogs... I personally had... when my brother died, it's a story, it's kind of the basis of how my journey started, I went downhill after that. But he had a dog, Braddock, named after James Braddock, Cinderella Man.
Right.
He was English American Bulldog, something like that. And when my brother died, he died backpacking in Cambodia. He dropped dead, and we had that dog, and that was part of him. I had it for years after he died, and it got me through some hard times, man. And thank God I was in the right place when that dog did pass, because it was so horrible. I felt like I lost my brother again.
Right.
I can only imagine. Have you seen how has Batman affected you? Have you seen, I'm sure veterans reach out to you and they say, you saved my life, Mark?
Right.
How do these dogs, man? Tell us more about the dogs, man.
I wish I knew the true answer to that. How I try and explain it how I make sense of it in my screwed up head is that they just understand and they can sense when you're at your worst. And just a paw on your leg or a head on your lap or get up under your arm, it just takes you away from what you were doing and focuses you back on the dog. You got to take the dog for a walk. You got to take it out for, it's got to go poop. It takes your mind off of taking your own life because you got to take care of a dog.
Yeah, man.
They just get it.
I remember talking to you on the phone since we've been talking the last couple weeks. I remember we mentioned that, like, these dogs it's like a responsibility. I told you the story. I met a guy, Rick, who has a dog, Salvi, and I met him at Valari's. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to the people at Valari's. But he's up there all the time at the bar my best friend's fiance runs. And I saw him with the dog all the time. So obviously, I asked him. He told me a story. I probably might have been having a couple drinks when I met him years ago. And he told me the story how he got this dog from federal prison in North Carolina. And that the prison gave it to him. So, that day I bought him a drink. I said, walk him home. I guess he wasn't listening to what I said. I thought he told me it was a program for dogs. This dog's not through you, but it's a different program. But still, same concept, right? You're a little familiar?
Absolutely. Right before COVID, we were going to do with the Camden County Jail. We were going to have our dogs trained in with the prisoners.
That's awesome. You told me that. Yeah, but I remember, like, I would have bought Rick drinks just because he was a veteran, but I was buying him drinks. I was like, walk him home, brother. You know,
thought he was in jail?
I thought he went to federal prison. I'm like, what did this guy do? I'm always thinking. I was like, what did he do? He killed somebody?
Right.
Was he?
He doesn't look too tough.
Gangster? Yeah, I didn't know. I thought maybe tax crime. He looked like a guy maybe.
His dog is nowhere near as good looking as my dog either.
Salvi's a lab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool to. I remember talking to him years ago, and but like I said, I admit I didn't realize that 22 number. It's kind of embarrassing. I didn't realize how much you guys need help. I come from a veteran. My mom served in the Army. But, man, when we had Matt Davies in here, I told you about it. I sent you videos, man. I know I talk about him so much. But I know Matt. I went to high school with him. We played football. Matt Davies, Operation Tattoo and Freedom. He came in here, and I just wasn't thinking. I was like, yeah, it's going to be, good episode. Good dude. I knew him. He was a good guy. I played football with him in 2004. That summer, 6 months later, he's over in the Navy. I don't know. He's witnessing people die in front of him, and I had no idea. And that really opened my eyes, man. He helps people through tattoos, but it must be a feeling you get. I know he told me the feeling it felt having his life saved by these people and how he's devoted his life to it. How is that feeling, Mark, when you have somebody call you up and say, Mark Eberle, you saved my life, man?
It takes a second to register, and then you think, wow, that person would not be here unless they reached out or found me and we trained a dog for him. And that takes a little bit away from my stress and my anger, because I'd be a douchebag if I was still angry after someone just said I saved their life. Like, what's wrong with me? So, yeah, it's humbling. It's an amazing feeling. And it does take away, it buries the beast, as we like to say. It beats it down, and
Yeah, because you do these great things, but I know you overcame some of your demons. But we still, even me, there's still things that happen in my life where, even just getting COVID, and it's not easy things. But does your bad days feel a little better knowing what you're doing for Paws Healing Heroes? Does it make your worst day not so bad anymore, Mark?
I've quit Paws every day since I've started it. I'm not doing this shit ever again. One thing goes bad, that's it. I tell my wife, I think this is going to be the last year I'm doing Paws. And then I get a call. I meet a veteran at Alpha Omega Working Dogs as one of our trainers. A new veteran, Carlos. He didn't know I was going there to meet him, and I just did this week. And I introduced myself to him, and I'm talking to him, and I said, I'm going to cover your training for your service dog 100%. Now, he's got combat PTSD, and he's had a stroke. And let me tell you, this gentleman cried for at least a half an hour. His wife cried. And right there, that just makes you, it lights the fire again. It's like I was pissed off going there. That was it. No more dogs. I'm going to train my own dog. Everybody can go fly off a cliff. I don't give a shit. And then I meet this dude, Carlos, and he's crying in my arms. I'm like, all right, one more year.
This is what you do it for.
All right.
And these are like tough. These are people who gave the ultimate.
No, he didn't look so
the,
tough. No, let's just
But
take
he-
a step back. No, I get you. I got you.
He
Still,
gave.
man.
When you sign up for that service, you know the end result can be death, man. These people, my God, anybody out there, please go to pawshealingheroes.org. even Operation Tattoo and Freedom. These are people who are saving lives.
Or applications online as well for the veterans, and and I don't ask much. As long as you have an honorable discharge and you served, you pretty much passed the test.
Yeah, any veterans, you heard it right here. But I can so relate to, like, it's crazy. We brought Yanni in. Yanni's here. Yanni, what's up, bro? But Yanni didn't start when we started Hungry for Hope. It was me and Tim. Timmy, how you doing? But me and Tim have stories.
He's eating dinner. Don't interrupt him.
me and Tim have stories we're pretty open about. We saw dark times. Tim went through his drug addiction. I went through all the horrible stuff I went through. But Yanni comes, from a different background. He didn't fight a drug addiction, correct, Yanni? You've been to
Parents
jail?
bought him a car at 16.
No, he's comes from a hardworking immigrant family.
I took my mom's car. She bought a new car.
She was sleeping.
She got a new car.
I got to let you go on that one, Mark. He immigrated over here from Greece at 4. He comes from a
Does he
family.
have his papers?
I know a guy.
Turn the cameras off.
INS.
No, but he came up. Such a great family, man. That's why we weren't looking to bring somebody in. I brought him in. We had something little, and then he was the kind of person we wanted, but he brings a different angle. So now we do the Hungry for Hope nonprofit. We got some cool stuff going on. We're just starting, but we go to Kensington, and I bring Yanni to Kensington. Tim was out on the streets of Kensington during his active drug addiction. We go to K&A, the worst spot in Philly, man. Kensington and Allegheny, and Yanni comes along. And his family from Cass Food Distributors, they donate food. And we go on these streets, and we set up a grill. We set up a couple tables, and we have like 100 bags of clothes. We had people donate. We have the Enright Tree Service and oil. A lot of people, Liberia Fencing, Big Freddie Bloss. We have a lot of people donate stuff. They donate their time and everything, and they come out and help us. But we just sit there on a corner. And we set up tables. We did it like monthly. During the Christmas time, we were doing it a lot. And these people, man, it's not so much giving the burgers. Yanni sat there and fed like 500 people. It's not so much
fun just grilling out.
Just talking to these people. That's when, like I said, sometimes I'm not proud of my story, but I feel like them people, if I say, hey, look at me, they see me, I'm doing okay in life. I'm doing pretty good. And I say, hey, man, I might not been on K&A, but I've been down in that. I've been in that prison cell in Camden County thinking my life was over, ready to give it up, ready to hang it up, thinking the world forgot about me, Mark. I'm sure you can relate. I thought the world forgot about me because, honestly, when you go to that jail, when you're going through addiction, whatever you're going through, no matter how much people love you, your friends, your family, they have to move on. They can't just sit around and be like, oh, when's Donnie going to get his shit together? It's not fair to them. But you feel down. And telling them people, I'm sure you can relate through the work you do. Just the feeling them people. I've had people hug me and cry in Kensington and say, man, I just want you to tell you I appreciate you for not forgetting about us. And that's what drives me, man. I'm sure, as
Absolutely.
you said, as that guy hugged you, man, that's powerful stuff. That moved me. It probably makes your hunger a little even more every day. Is it?
It's scary at times because you don't know, like, I'm always thinking, what if we give someone a dog and it doesn't work and they take their life, or they hurt the dog and it goes public and it goes national, and it's like, oh, this guy gave this guy a dog, thing was going to help him, and it backfired. Knock on wood, it's helped everybody so far. Not 100%, but they've helped. And I was at a VFW one time, and I was there to get a check at a fundraiser. And this dude walks up. He's got a beard. He looks like he's pretty badass. He's like, yo, can I talk to you outside? I'm thinking, uh-oh. Did I talk to his wife? I'm looking around. I'm looking out in the parking lot. I'm like, and he's like, can we go over there to the other side of the parking lot? I'm like, it's definitely on. I'm like tightening up my laces. I'm waiting for the punch. Like, here we go. And then he immediately started crying. And he said he was going to kill himself that night until he heard me speak. And he was actually one of the veterans on the Rachel Ray show that, he doesn't really admit to that story most because he's really got to watch out for his job. And I don't want to name drop him, but that's as real as it gets. 2 grown men crying in a parking lot at a VFW, and the guy saying he was going to take his own life the next day. If that doesn't motivate you to get the fuck up out of bed, Go beg money somewhere to try and get these people some help. They put their time in the military. They shouldn't have to come home and just get nothing. And it's a shame that I have to do what I have to do. I wish I didn't have to do it. This should be a free service. You come out of the VA, you've got PTSD of some sort, here's a trained service dog. I try to get in front of Congress to get something moving. Nothing really happened. I don't really have the connections like that. Right. You know, I'm just schmo from Glassboro that tells a joke every now and again.
Nah, I'm going to stop you there, Mark. You're not no smo from Glassboro, man. You're saving fucking lives out there, man. I'm not going to let you come on my show and lie. You're saving goddamn
No, I'm still
life.
a schmo from Glassboro. I'm just doing some good shit.
You're
Let's get
a schmo who's saving these veterans who put their life on the line for schmoes like me, for people like Yanni, for us people that they put the ultimate sacrifice, man. You are saving goddamn lives for people like Tim, people like me, and man, Hungry for Hope Nation is listening to you right now. We're gonna have to get you out of here. Is there anything you want to leave these people with, Mark? The time is yours. Let's rock, brother.
I really want one of those cheeseburgers you were serving in Kensington. I'm kind of hungry, so if you have anything going on in the back,
I could arrange that.
No, I'll get serious for a few minutes. I like to have fun and I like to shoot the shit, but I'm sure my dog has to poop, so let's get down to it. What we do is real. There's no bullshit. We pay the trainers good amount of money. They're very professional. Alpha and Omega Working Dogs and Sharp Canine are my two trainers. Two training companies, I should say. Every dollar goes back into this organization. We don't take salaries. We don't play any games. You'll have fun along the way. And once you're in our family, it's dysfunctional as everybody else's. I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to cry with you. Go rescue a dog. Go donate to a nonprofit. Not mine if you don't know me. Just go help someone. Buy someone a cup of coffee. Everybody's got some shit going in their life right now. Talk to somebody. If they just look like they're having a bad day, say hello. That might be the little twist. That's all they need. Life is hard. You don't need to make it any harder for anybody else. Try not to be a dick anymore in public or ride up their ass in a car. I'm just riffing here. I'm not going to say go hug trees and save the world. But again, you got to think someone else is 10 times worse than you are. And just because they have a smile on their face doesn't mean that they're happy. And I've had that smile on my face my whole life. And there's a shit show going on inside my head. So, pawshealingheroes.org. Send me some cash. Call me. I'll give you my cell if you inbox me. We'll talk tonight. I don't give a shit. I'll come to your house, make me a sandwich. I like food. And let's just start helping some people, man. And it all starts with just opening that door or picking up that phone.
Mark, great stuff. But before we're gonna get out of here, we got Wire to Wire Sports coming on next. I know Dorian's listening, man. I just want Dorian to come in. Can Dorian come in? Am I crossing the line if I bring your son in?
Rebecca.
Mark brought his son here, man. Rebecca. He got Batman the dog. He has Dorian Rebecca, his wife.
Come here, bud.
Batman couldn't wait to get at it.
It's just awesome. I love meeting our guy.
He likes my dog. Likes my wife more than me. Come here, bud.
Hey, Dorian.
There he is.
Dorian, say hi, man. Look, there you are, buddy.
Look, you're on the camera.
For people listening to audio, we got Dorian in right now, Mark's son. Hungry for Hope Nation, this has been amazing. Tim, I hope you feel better. Yanni the Greek, Mark, Dorian, thank you, Hungry for Hope Nation, and we are out of here.